So for the first one, the bent over, back row, wide grip, upright, looks like this. I'm pulling and I'm slowly releasing. Puffing up the chest with that wide grip. Now I'm going to turn my back to you on purpose, Amy. And can you see the scapulae as they're being drawn together? You can really see the difference in my tan line from when I do this on the beach. But it actually helps right now because you can see the scapulae being drawn together. Now, am I forcing that? No. And what we don't want to do is when you draw back, you do a forward head projection, thinking that you're going further back. You're not, and then you're putting too much pressure on your cervical spine. So we want a good, strong back in life to be able to bend down, pick up something, and get right back up. And I'm going to lower the arms down. Repetitions today are 8 to 15 reps. Now we're going to do an incline chest press, wide grip. Here's the wide, here's the narrow. I'm going wide. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand to the side a little bit, and I'm going to push out. And I'm leaning back. Do you have to lean back? No. But this helps for an incline. But it's not imperative that you do that because sometimes it hurts people's backs and necks. So it's inhale as I pull in, exhale, push out. Opposing muscle groups. We want that strong chest so that we can push that heavy grocery cart. We can push that heavy door open without needing assistance. Now I'm going to come close to the camera. Watch this area here. See that? I'm not doing this. I'm not collapsing down. That happens a lot. So let's go for 2 more repetitions. And just straight out in front for those of you who want to do it that way. Then the arms come down. Now, we're going to do shoulder rolls. But when they're weighted, they're a lot slower. So it looks like this. Up, back, and down. Up, back, and down. What isn't it? This. It's not this. You know how many times I see people doing that for shoulder rolls? We want to lift. We want to make big circles. Yeah, here we go. So just so the audience is entertained, in case they hear any sounds, they are actually literally replacing our roof as I speak to you directly over me. So how's the sound, Amy? Pretty good?
Oh, yeah. Great.
Great. We're going to do one more big shoulder roll. Now we're going to do an incline pec fly. First upright for you. So puff up the chest, and it's a big arcing motion. It's the same concept. Don't collapse when you bring those arms in. Now, I'm not going all the way back. So I inhale to open, exhale to close. Focus here. Right. Now, notice I don't let the fingertips touch each other, because if I were to do that, I would bypass the attachments of the pectoralis major muscle. Don't want to do that. So when you're in the gym and people are clanking, well, it's wrong. Now here's the movement on an incline, just in case you want to do that. One more. And lower the arms down. The next round is going to be the lat pull down, short for latissimus dorsi, and an incline chest press again, but narrow grip this time. I'm going to come down to my knee because I want you to see what I do with my arms. I'm not going to come down to my knee when I have the weights in my hands. So I'm going to pretend I'm holding on to a bar, and I'm pulling that bar toward my sternum, my breastbone, as I lift the breastbone up to the bar. Latissimus dorsi, swimmer's muscle. It's enormous muscle. And exhaling to pull. Do you have to be on your knee? No. I just want you to see what's going on with the arms. Let's go for 2 more. And 1 more. I'm here. I'm going to use my knee, my thigh, technically, to help me back up. Now, the incline chest press. Let's turn to the side here for you. Narrow grip. When I have a narrow grip, Amy, I'm going to tie in the tricep muscles, the back of the upper arm a little bit more. And of course, we also want those strong chest muscles so we can push the little strollers and baby carriages with our grandchildren, right? And you don't have to lean back if it hurts the neck or the back. You can do it straight out. Just puff up that chest for one more. Lovely. Now, we're going to move on to the second block of exercises. This would be tricep bicep related. Now, the first one, well, this one is a tricep dip. There's no way to show a dip without it being a full out, blown out exercise. However, I want you, for those of you who have carpal tunnel syndrome, you're going to do this one. And if for those of you who can't do it on a bench, it's perfectly fine to do this exercise I'm going to show you. It's going to get posterior deltoid and tricep. Why? Because the elbow is extended. So whenever that elbow is going to be extended, I'm going to get that tricep involvement. Now notice that I don't do this with the head when I bring the arms back. And notice I don't swing the arms forward and swing them because this is nothing to do with momentum. I'm placing the arms and pausing. There's a delay. And then you control it back in. And then one more. And now I'm going to come into what's called hammer curls. Elbows alongside me. Watch the elbow bend. What we don't want is this and this. Sometimes when the weight is heavier, there is a little touch of momentum. That's appropriate to heavy weight. When you have no weights in your hands, folks, momentum shouldn't even be in the equation. I like this with the palms facing each other because when you ultimately have some weight in the hands, and even if it's 1 pound dumbbells, this is going to put some work into the forearms and wrists, which we know is, or I should say, osteoporotic sites. I'm going to go for one more. Now, I'm going to head back down to the floor. And this one is tricep overhead extension. Now, for those of you who have hypertension, you may have been told never to like squeeze your fingers real hard. Maybe you weren't told and it doesn't apply to you. However, just in case you were told that, you can bring your palms together like this. Otherwise, I'm going to choose to interlock the fingers. Arms go up and down and up. So notice how the elbows go wider when you go down, and when you go up, the elbows narrow. They come in. And it's exhale, exhale. Now, for those of you with pinched nerve or rotator cuff, you might have to go back to the prior tricep exercise, the tricep press. I'm going to do a few more. Now, when I have the weights in my hands, I will not be on my knee. One more. And hands to the thigh to come up. And now we're going to do basic bicep curls. And I'm going to teach you a little something, a little trick about biceps. So we want to kind of tie them in a little bit more. We do it with the act of supination. Supination means palms up. Pronation is down. So, or face up technically, all right? So I'm going to start with the hands alongside or turned back. Either way is perfectly fine with me. Bend the knees, I supinate, and then I pronate. Palms up, and then they're facing each other or facing the wall behind you. Notice the knees are softened, belly button is in, chest is lifted. Taking your time. We want those strong arms so we can carry our groceries into our house. We don't want to hyperextend and lock out the elbow trying to carry them in. You just bend that elbow and place your bag over your forearm. You got your bicep helping you. And lower the arms down. Now we're going to do a bent over tricep kickback. I'm not going to bend over for it for some of you, but for others, of course, you will. So you can do a tricep kickback upright with the arms here. Now notice you're stabilizing the elbow It's acting as the fulcrum, and you go straight back, exhaling, inhaling. Preferably the breathing is done in and out through the nose. Sometimes mine escapes with the old-fashioned way of out the mouth when I'm exerting. And one more. Now, Arnold curls. Yes, they're named for the man, okay? And knees are bent, arms out. Arnold curls are not done alongside the ribs. You're out here and you're curling. Now, I like Arnold curls because when you have weights in your hands, you're going to feel those forearms work and those wrists. Take your time. Soften the knees, chest up, shoulders down, breath in and out through the nose, and relax it down. Couple of shoulder rolls, folks, just to loosen them up again. All right, let's get started with the workout with the weights. Bent over back row, wide grip, followed by an incline chest press, also wide grip. So I'm going to grab my 12-pounders for the bent over back row. Remember, those of you with back spine, you're not doing that, right? You're not doing it. So here we go. Notice the spine. I'm not rounded and collapsed. Belly button is in. Head is up. One more. And take them down. I'm going to set them down for the moment right here. My bench is set. I've only recently leveled up to 18 pounds on my incline chest press. Here we go. Wide grip and exhale. No collapsing of the chest. Hypertension, vertigo, GERD. Let's get that cushion under your head if you're flat on the floor or on your bed. You want to focus on the spot on the ceiling and touch that spot. One more. Now, when I lower, I kind of raise a little bit with my thighs toward the weight, just to guarantee. Gently placing them on the bench. And, excuse me, back to the second round of the bent over. Wide grip, back row. Here we go. So the cervical spine of the neck, the lumbar spine of the low back, basically do the same position, and they are in a natural lordotic curve, just like a little teeny bit of an extension, which is why I might look down here, but I'm going to lift that head up on the actual work. Two more. And setting them down. Back to incline chest press. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Chest is up. Don't collapse that chest, especially when you push the weights up toward the ceiling. Two more. Lots of tricep. Lots of front deltoid of the shoulder. Wonderful. All right, now next we have shoulder rolls with an inclined pec fly. So let me just put my weights up there for that. I'm going to grab my 20-pounders for the shoulder rolls. So when you have a small space, you need to be very careful in how you maneuver with all your equipment, but it can be done. So I don't care about the feet here. I want you to see the shoulders. So my knees are bent a little bit. Big shoulder rolls. Whoa, it feels great though. Two more. down. Okay, incline pec fly. Lots of bicep involvement on this one, folks. You'll see why in a second. So nice big arcing motion. And then exhale. Don't clank those weights. Keep a couple of inches at least. Exhale in between. Big, enormous bear hug, right? Kind of like a rainbow. Make sure you stay hydrated when you train. I only know from water. Don't ask me about coffees and teas and flavored stuff. I don't know from any of that. All I know is what Harvard Health Publishing talks about is water. I'm going to go for one more. Nice stretch here. And down toward my thighs. Excuse me. Back to shoulder rolls. Really circling those shoulders. Two more. Setting the weights down. Back to the pec fly on the incline. Now, those of you who are on your bed, you can also take another pillow and kind of wedge that underneath your torso toward your head, and you can create a little bit of an incline that way. Some folks have a literal wedge as a pillow, and you can use that as well. And if you don't have anything to make it an incline, that's okay. Go flat bench or flat back. So I do like people to warm up when they're 55 years and above for 10 minutes prior to strength training. I'm going to go for one more. And slowly back down. Now we're going to do the lat pull down along with the incline chest press narrow grip. So what I want to do is just put my weights on the bench. Okay. I'm using 10 for the lat pull down. Now I'm not dropping to my knee. And it goes toward the chest and up. Toward the chest and up. I am a little bit leaning back. You see that? Belly button is in. And take them down. Okay, incline chest press. Let's see if I can do it. Give this 18. Otherwise, I reserve the right to downgrade to 15. Narrow grip. I'm going to be quiet. One more. Ooh la la, sasson. Okay. Now, back to the lat pull down. Yep, I am sweating like crazy. It is Florida. And pull. Pull. Two more. And down. incline, chest press, narrow grip, add in the tricep involvement there. Two more. Oh yeah. Ooh la la. And I'm going to take them down. All right, now, for those of you who want to stop here, okay, I'm going to tell you for your cool down to repeat everything without any resistance as your cool down. For those of you continuing on for tricep bicep, I'm just going to do a little bit of a readjustment here, and then we'll get started. So our first exercises are going to be the tricep dip with the hammer curls, Amy, all right? So just
Sounds good.
a little bit of a setup here. Just bear with me a moment. Pardon me.
Tell us in the comments, Screen Warriors, what type of exercise do you enjoy doing most while Angela is doing that?
I'd love to hear that. Okay.
And our Tiny Acres says, hugs, beautiful people. Greetings.
Tiny Acres, thank you.
Greetings, Tiny Acres.
Okay, so I promised you a tricep dip, right, Amy? So
Yep.
I'm going to show 3 ways on how to do it. Remember, those of you with the carpal tunnel issues, you're going straight back, okay? So I'm going to come to the floor, and let's just see what you can see of me. I'm just going to check the camera and all of that. So I'm going to have to move further here. Okay, so I'm taking the hands to the floor, and I'm turning the fingers toward my butt. The elbows are bent. The chest is puffed up. It's not this, folks. It's this. And then from here, I'm going to straighten and bend. When you actually do this, you're not 100% straightening those elbows. That's okay. So that's a modification of the tricep dip. The next one is a modification of the dip on the bench, all right? So what happens here, Amy, is that you take your butt off the bench, but you keep the knees bent. You bend the elbows, and you push up. Now, that's a modification. However, if you want to do it full out, legs come out, and I'm pushing away. You notice that? I'm pushing away. Chest up, shoulders down. One more. And now we follow this up with those hammer curls. I'm using 15s on this. Come a little closer for you and curl it up. I'm going to go for 2 more. Feel it in those forearms and wrists. And then we go back to our tricep dips, any which way you want to do it, or your tricep press, okay? The reason why this is inappropriate for carpal tunnel is it puts us into wrist extension. That is a contraindicated movement for those with carpal tunnel. Not too long ago, I had a conversation with Dr. Frank Sabatino about this. It was very helpful. 2 more. Woo! Feeling it. There we go. And now back to hammer time. My arms are getting tired. One more. And down. Okay. Now the next round. Next round is tricep overhead extension. I'm not dropping to the floor. I demonstrated it. Now, for those of you with the with hypertension, vertigo, and GERD, let's do a slight variation. So we did this before, right, for your first round of another tricep exercise. That was replacing your dip. Turn your hands this way, palms toward each other. Palms facing each other. Do it that way. Give yourself another option. All right, so I'm going to grab my 20-pound weight. I don't want this one. I want my other 20-pounder. Yeah, I know. I bought something one time individually with the weights, and they weren't the same company. But at least I have them. All right, so placing the hands like this over the collar of the weight to hold the bar for that tricep overhead extension. Down, exhale, up. Notice I don't drop the weight all the way down to the base of the skull, meaning the top part of the weight. One more. And slowly down. Now, bicep curls, your basic curls. Your choice, choose supinate or not. I don't care, whatever works for you. So I'm sorry it's a little darker in here today, Amy, with all of the equipment coming up onto the top of the building. They're blocking so some of the light coming in to my apartment. I'm sorry. I'm going to go for one more. And now back to, I'm using a 20 for that tricep overhead extension. By the way, it's also called a tricep overhead press. See, wide and narrow. One more. Bicep curls. Make sure you get hydrated, folks. Stop and rest when you need to, but don't quit, please. I want to try it. There we go. Okay, and the final round of the strength training is going to be the bent over tricep kickback. But those of you with back spine, you're going to do it straight up. And the Arnold curls, all right? So for this, I'm going to use my 8s for my bent over tricep kickback. Looking up every time I extend the arms, get the cervical spine to do the same position as the lumbar spine. Belly button in. 2 more. And take them down. Now I'm going to do, I think I said Arnold curls. So let me bring those 10-pounders over. If I have to downgrade 8, I will. And here we go. A lot of work in those forearms. I'm telling you, a lot of work in those forearms. Two more. Always give yourself permission, folks, to downgrade the work, the weight. Don't be in pain. Pain is not a gauge of success. It's a gauge of pain. So we want to avoid pain, but work an acceptable level of muscular discomfort for you. I don't know what that is. Only you know. Think of a scale of 0 to 10. 0 is no effort. 10 is maximal effort for one repetition. You want to work between 6 and 8, depending upon where you're at in time. And Arnold curls. Now I have a winged scapula on my real right shoulder, so that's why you just saw me do that. So kind of put it back in place. Everybody good out there, Amy?
Yeah, this is great.
One more. Ooh. Okay, now for our cool down. First off, I'm going to shake out my hands. And they're super hot. I'm taking off the gloves. Don't need those anymore. Now, when you do the cool down on your own, folks, you can choose to do the whole thing again without any weight, all right? But I'm going to take you through a little bit more site-specific stretches. So interlock the fingers, accept hypertension. You can place hand on hand like so. Palms are down. I'm bending the knees. Arms up. I'm going to step back just for a moment, just so you can see the palms are facing the ceiling. And then I'm going to step in a little bit. And then slowly lower. Now, when you're on your own, you want to do the stretches for 20 to 30 seconds at least each. Now, I'm depressing that left shoulder back and down as I'm pulling across. This is a beautiful stretch for the deltoid, for the rotator cuff muscles, for the long head of the tricep muscle. A lot of stuff going on here. And then I bring same hand to the shoulder, support the elbow, take it through the range of motion within that glenohumeral joint of the shoulder. Tricep stretch. And breathe.
Can you turn around so we can see where your hand placement is? Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome. The closer behind the head, the better. And slowly down. Now, I'm going to dangle the arm so that the wrist is a little lower than the shoulder. Oh, and I'm going to push. So I'm pushing both into each other. Now, this next position is contraindicated for carpal tunnel. Don't do this. Just stay on the other one. So no matter what, if the arm is here, 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 that's all wrist extension. So you don't want to come into that for carpal tunnel. I'm going to release it. Isolate shoulder roll on that side, unweighted. Oh, feels so good, Amy. And now, arms up. I'm going to step back a bit, squat down a little, so just so you can see the palms are overhead, not out here. However, what if that's your range of motion? Well, then you bring them a little more in front of you. That's okay. We want a long neck. I'm not looking for this. I'm looking for a long neck. Thus, the bent elbows. And push down, depress, pull. Woo, mama. It's all of that. Breathing. And now, right hand on right shoulder, left hand supports right elbow. Take it on up. So you try to inch it behind the head. Was that clear, Amy?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sure. They don't see it. It's like crazy, right? Now, I want you to think that you're not just stretching here. I want you to think you're lifting all of this, the whole side. It puts it into takes it to a whole nother category here, a whole nother degree of stretch when you do that. And then release it down. Wrist dangles below the shoulder, below the sternum of the breastbone, pushing. I think that my recovery, Amy, from my broken wrist on this side was pretty remarkable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that. I know you didn't, but I did. Look at you, how flexible.
Yeah, and it's technically not healed yet. A fractured bone takes technically 1 full year. My full year. Now notice this. See how that wants to hyperextend? I have to be careful of that. So we don't want to hyperextend a joint. Yeah, my full year will be April 16th from the fall. So we're getting there. We're almost 100% healed.
Wow.
Yeah, feels good to know that. And now shoulder roll. And we prevented osteoporosis because of the strength training. Even though I didn't lift weights in this arm, we did it, right, Amy? We did it on this show with unilateral training with bands and tubing. It can be done, folks. Now, this position, not for carpal tunnel. What I want you to do is really reach out for your middle fingers, and you'll get the entire length of that arm. The rest of us is like Atlas pushing the walls away. And then inhale, thumbs down. Exhale, you're going to interlock all 10 fingers. If you don't want to interlock, you can hold a yoga strap if you want. I'm pushing the knuckles toward the floor. The shoulder blades rolling toward each other. I am not doing this forward head flexion like a chicken, right? Or I don't know, a rooster. I don't know, whoever does that. Keep the chest lifted. And they are chiseling above me right now. And shoulder roll. One last stretch. Let's see if we can get it in before they take my roof down. Wrists are below the shoulders. Keep the chest up and just a little bit. Look down. Upper trapezius stretch. I don't like you dropping the head all the way. That's too much forward head flexion. And then crisscross, head up, inhale, exhale, lower the head again, just a little bit, but really reach out through the fingers. And then we release the arms down, head up, shoulder rolls. And that's what we got for you today, Amy, along with our sound effects.
Until I see all of you again, remember, be strong, be well, and be green.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.